Welcome to PD on the Go, the podcast that delivers bite-sized learning on communication, collaboration, and facilitation for busy teacher leaders. Tune in while you're in the car, on your lunch break, or making copies, and get ready to level up your leadership skills. My name is Hallie Case, and I'm with the Office of Professional Learning in Fairfax County Public Schools, and I'm joined today by my teammate, Mary Beth Anderson.
Hello.
So we're excited to be together today because one of the communication skills that we've been talking about is listening, and we've gone over some strategies for listening in the past, paraphrasing being a big one. But today we're going to talk about how important it is to pause in a conversation and how that connects to listening, and some reasons why it's important and some strategies to help you be mindful of it. So, why is pausing an important communication skill to develop within yourself?
So I think it benefits both people in a conversation. And when we think about pausing, we're really thinking about a conversation when someone comes to you and maybe there is a challenge that they might be facing, or they might be asking for your advice. And so we want to share about how pausing can support you in providing you think time and also the person that is coming to speak with you. So the reason why we want to talk about pausing is it allows the person to maybe continue on their thinking, because they might blurt something out and we might jump to a conclusion or jump to a solution and start talking to fill the space. But if we can pause, it allows them to maybe continue thinking, and it also allows us to think about how are we going to respond. So it provides both parties some think time before they move forward.
Yeah, like with that first one, that it benefits the other person. We talked about body language in the past and how you can sort of, if you're being an active listener, you're also paying attention to what the other person is doing. So makes me think about like eye movement. So if you and I, Mary Beth, are having a conversation and I'm talking now and my eyes sort of look down or look up, even if I've stopped talking, it's sort of an indicator that I'm still thinking. Typically, someone who hasn't really raised their awareness around pausing might jump in, and you're interrupting the thinking of the other person. And if you're in sort of more of a learning-focused conversation that you were describing, that can be detrimental because it takes away the other person's opportunity to explore their idea further.
Yeah, it's like it interrupts that processing for them. I think we've all been in conversations where we're trying to get something out and someone keeps jumping in, and how frustrating that can be, especially if you're trying to work through a challenge.
Yeah.
So just sort of waiting for that pause allows the person to formulate their thoughts. Like I'm even paying attention to my eye movement as I'm thinking through it. And when you were talking, I was seeing you kind of look over to the left side, trying to formulate your thoughts and not wanting to jump in as you're thinking through.
And then, when you're being a really active listener, it's important to set aside your other thoughts. So sometimes we listen and we kind of stop paying attention to what the other person has said because we're thinking already about how we're going to respond. So the other side of that coin is that the pause can help me as a listener, because I don't have to be worrying about what I'm going to say next. I can just fully pay attention to you and then take that space to figure out what I'm going to say, right?
Yeah, it's like the pause allows you to evaluate, like, what's my next step here? So maybe, are they looking for advice? Is this a question that I can answer right away? Or is this a time that I could ask them a question to further their thinking and sort of think about how can I support the person in front of me without jumping to a conclusion because I've had some wait time and it feels really long as the person who's listening.
Yeah.
And I think for both of us who are like quick processors who want to just keep the conversation going, it feels really weird to have that pause, but it doesn't in actuality, when it in reality, when you're having it, it doesn't feel weird to the other person.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think for the most part, they'll be reading your body language too, and it'll be clear that you're thinking. And a strategy that we share in our communication courses sometimes around this is to practice a pause, take a deep breath in and out. And it takes longer to do that than you would think. And that's sort of a good time gap to judge, like, have I given enough time before responding? And I think we learned that tip actually because we've heard other people use it for wait time in classrooms with students, right? Where we know that it benefits students to have wait time after a teacher asks a question. And so I think we heard someone speaking about that. Just take a deep breath as a teacher and let it out and then move forward. So that works for this pause in conversations too.
Yeah, and you saying that is making me think about in a collaborative learning team meeting, when you're a facilitator and you pose a question to a group, often we pose it and then the first person to jump in, that's the response we go with or the idea that we might go with. And instead, you could provide some pause, say, I'm going to ask this question and pause so everyone has a chance to think. And then we'll share answers. So it even allows people in a group setting to process as well before moving on.
So you could even prompt a group to pause with you if it's something that isn't happening on its own naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think you could do that in a one-on-one conversation too, to say like, I'm going to pause for a minute. Or sometimes there's like verbal cues you can give to fill that space.
Right.
So that if it does start to feel a little uncomfortable.
So you could do that with maybe like your eye movement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or even with a deep breath, like just thinking through. And a good way to practice is just like in low stakes conversations, right?
Yes.
Like in everyday conversations. I know I talk on the phone with my mom on my way home, so I could be listening that way and practicing a pause where it's just a way that I can see what feels authentic to me and natural.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like with a trusted family member or a coworker who knows that you're working on your communication skills. Yeah, low stakes is a good place to start.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we have a tool that we want to make sure we make available to our listeners, and it describes different types of pauses. So there's 3 that kind of give a little bit more reasoning around why you might use a certain type of wait time. And it'll mirror some of the conversations we had today. So it's for the other person, a response that you might offer, and it gives some more strategies and ideas for that. So we're going to share that with you all as we typically do on our Instagram account, which is at FCPS_PD. And you can also find those materials if you're within FCPS and you go to Atlas and search PD on the go. It will send you the direct link. So thank you so much for listening today, and join us next time for more PD on the go.